In 1998, a team of Japanese researchers brought ground-penetrating. The dimensions were consistent with a chamber. The Egyptian authorities told them to stop scanning and leave the site. The data was never published. The project was never resumed. In 1999, Zahi Hawass, then Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, personally descended into a shaft 60 feet below the Giza Plateau, between the Sphinx and the Second Pyramid. He found underground chambers, ancient granite, and an empty basalt sarcophagus in a flooded room at the bottom. He sealed the shaft again. The official explanation for not excavating further was flooding. 7 things like this have been confirmed at Giza. Each one has a reason it was stopped. None of the reasons have been fully explained. Stay until number 1. It is the anomaly that multiple independent radar surveys have confirmed, that Egypt stopped all scanning to study in 1998, and has not permitted anyone to return to since. Number 7. The Great Pyramid of Khufu contains 4 narrow shafts, 2 from the King's Chamber, 2 from the Queen's Chamber. They are approximately 8 inches by 8 inches. For 150 years, Egyptologists categorized them as ventilation shafts. The problem: the Queen's Chamber was sealed from the inside. It had no ventilation function. The shafts from the King's Chamber open to the outside face of the pyramid. The shafts from the Queen's Chamber do not. They run for approximately 200 feet and terminate. In 1993, German engineer Rudolf Gantenbrink sent a small robot, the U-Boot, through the southern shaft of the Queen's Chamber. After 200 feet, the robot reached a small limestone door. The door had copper handles. The door had never been seen before. Gantenbrink filmed it, reported it, and was then denied further access to continue the exploration. The Egyptian authorities stated that the discovery was announced without their permission and that the project would be handled internally. In 2002, a second robot, the Pyramid Rover, passed a camera through a hole drilled in the door. Behind it, a small chamber and another door. The second door has never been opened. The northern shaft of the Queen's Chamber was explored in 2011 with a third robot. It also ended at a sealed door. That door also has a second door behind it. Neither set of doors on either shaft has been opened. The official explanation is logistical. Drilling through limestone is difficult and the chambers may be sacred. The question that explanation does not answer: if these are ventilation shafts, why do they end in sealed rooms? Number 6. In 2017, a multinational team of physicists published a paper in the journal Nature. They had been scanning the Great Pyramid using muon tomography, a technique that uses cosmic ray particles to image large stone structures the way X-rays image soft tissue. The technique is extremely precise. It cannot be fooled by stone density variation. The scan revealed a previously unknown void above the Grand Gallery. The Grand Gallery is 153 feet long and 26 feet tall, the largest interior space in the pyramid. The void above it is at least 30 meters long. The paper described it as a big void. The Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities confirmed the discovery and stated that further study would be required before any physical investigation could begin. That statement was made in 2017. As of the publication of this video, no physical investigation has been conducted. No core samples have been taken. No additional scanning has been permitted inside that area of the pyramid. The muon tomography team, Scan Pyramids, sponsored by a French foundation and the Egyptian ministry itself, released a second paper in 2023 suggesting the void was consistent with a large internal ramp structure used during construction. This would make it the most significant architectural discovery in the pyramid in over a century. The interior has not been accessed. Egyptian authorities have stated that the pyramid is a protected monument and that any physical intrusion requires extensive review. The review is ongoing. The void is still there. Number 5. 40 miles south of Giza, near the town of Hawara in the Fayum Depression, there is what remains of a pyramid built by the pharaoh Amenemhat III around 1800 BC. The pyramid itself is largely destroyed. But ancient historians were not interested in the pyramid. They were interested in what was next to it. Herodotus visited this site in 450 BC and described a building adjacent to the pyramid that he called a labyrinth. He said it contained 3,000 rooms, half above ground, half underground. He said it surpassed the pyramids themselves. He said he was not permitted to see the underground sections because they were sacred and contained the tombs of crocodile gods. Strabo visited a century later and described the same complex. Pliny described it. Diodorus Siculus described it. Every ancient source that visited the site agreed, there was an enormous building here, and there was an underground section no one was allowed to enter. Modern archaeology could not find it. The above-ground structure had been completely stripped for building material by the Roman period. In 2008, a team led by Belgian Egyptologist Louis das Vanderlijnt conducted a ground-penetrating radar survey of the site. The radar returned a large-scale anomaly beneath the surface, an extensive underground structure with regular spacing consistent with a constructed network of rooms. The dimensions were consistent with the ancient descriptions. The Egyptian Supreme Council of Antiquities declined to approve excavation permits. The team's full radar dataset was released, but no follow-up excavation has been conducted. The underground structure, if it exists, has not been touched since it was sealed, sometime around the 1st century AD. Number 4. The Great Sphinx sits inside a rock-cut enclosure, a pit approximately 180 feet long and 50 feet deep, carved entirely from the Giza Plateau limestone. The Sphinx itself is the remaining limestone core left after quarrying. In the walls of the enclosure, and in the body of the Sphinx itself, there are passages. Some are well documented: an ancient tomb shaft on the north side, a small chamber in the rump of the Sphinx accessed by a vertical shaft, a passage in the head. Most of these were found by early modern archaeologists Auguste Mariette, Gaston Maspero. Most have been sealed or blocked with modern masonry. In 1980, a researcher named Patrick Flanagan was part of a team that conducted acoustic sounding of the area directly between the Sphinx's paws. The sounding returned a chamber. In 1991, geologist Robert Schoch, who independently argued that the Sphinx's weathering pattern indicated it was far older than the accepted date, noted that ground survey data from the area beneath and around the Sphinx was consistent with hollow spaces below the floor of the enclosure. In 1996, the Shore Foundation obtained a permit to conduct seismic and ground-penetrating radar surveys of the Giza Plateau. The survey confirmed cavities in the bedrock beneath the Sphinx. The results were presented to the Egyptian authorities. The permit was not renewed. Independent access to conduct further surveys of the Sphinx subfloor has not been granted since. The modern metal grate that seals the rear tunnel entrance in the Sphinx's rump is visible in photographs. It has been there since at least the early 2000s. No official statement explains what prompted its installation. Number 3. In 1999, Zahi Hawass personally led a team into a structure that had been known to archaeologists since the early 20th century but never fully explored. It sits on the causeway that connects the second pyramid de Khafres to its valley temple, approximately 90 feet from the Sphinx. It is a vertical shaft cut into the Giza Plateau bedrock. It descends in stages. The first level, approximately 30 feet down, contains a large chamber with stone sarcophagi, a funeral cache from the late period, probably 26th dynasty, around 600 BC. This level was known. Below it, the shaft continues. The second level, 60 feet down, contains a chamber with 6 niches, each containing a stone sarcophagus. The sarcophagi are empty. Below that, the shaft continues into water. When Hawass's team pumped the water out, they found the third level approximately 90 feet below the surface of the Giza Plateau. In the center of this deepest chamber, a large granite sarcophagus surrounded by a moat. The sarcophagus is empty. The chamber had Osirian symbolism, the moat referencing the primordial waters of creation. Hawass published the discovery. The site was identified as a symbolic tomb, a cenotaph, not an actual burial. The shaft was sealed. The question the official account leaves open: who cut a 90-foot shaft through solid limestone bedrock to house an empty sarcophagus surrounded by a moat at a level below the water table? The construction effort required is equivalent to a major pyramid project. No inscription was found. No date was established. The shaft remains sealed. Number 2. The quarry from which the Sphinx was carved left a specific problem. The Sphinx is cut from the central body of the Giza Plateau, but the quarrying that removed the stone from around it produced an enormous excess of limestone. That limestone was used to build the Sphinx temple and the valley temples immediately to the east of the enclosure. But the volume of stone that was removed and the shape of the enclosure has led a small number of geologists and engineers to argue that the quarry was not cut for one Sphinx. The enclosure is not symmetrical. The eastern side, where the Sphinx faces, has a different geological character than the western side behind the Sphinx's tail. In 2015 and again in 2018, LiDAR scanning of the Giza Plateau was conducted as part of mapping programs. The processed data showed subsurface anomalies in the area immediately south of the Sphinx enclosure, a zone that has never been excavated because it is occupied by the paving of the Valley Temple approach. The anomalies in the LiDAR data are not consistent with natural geological variation. They are consistent with regular, cut stone beneath the surface. An independent architectural analysis published in the Egyptian Journal of Remote Sensing in 2021 identified what the authors described as indications of a large buried structure in that zone. The Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities has not responded publicly to the analysis. No excavation has been permitted in that area. Number 1. In 1996, a team of researchers obtained a permit from the Egyptian Supreme Council of Antiquities to conduct ground-penetrating radar surveys at Giza. Among the areas surveyed was the bedrock directly beneath the left paw of the Sphinx. The radar returned an anomaly. The anomaly was described in the team's internal reports as consistent with a rectangular chamber at a depth of approximately 5 to 8 meters below the surface. In 1997, a second independent survey, conducted by a team from Waseda University in Japan, scanned the same area. They also returned an anomaly in the same location. They reported their findings to the Egyptian authorities and were told that the data required further analysis before any physical investigation could be authorized. In 1998, the Waseda University team returned to conduct additional scanning. They were denied access to the area directly beneath the left paw. The project was terminated. No official reason for the denial was published. The Waseda University team's full dataset has never been released. What we have is their preliminary report describing the anomaly and the subsequent absence of any follow-up. This is the site that Edgar Cayce, the American psychic who in 1932 described a hall of records buried beneath the Sphinx's left paw containing the history of Atlantis, predicted with geographical accuracy. This is not mentioned in any official archaeological document because the academic community does not engage with Cayce's claims. What is documented, however, is independent, two separate scientific teams using ground-penetrating radar, working a decade apart, found the same anomaly in the same location. Both were denied permission to continue. The radar equipment is not sitting in that location. There is no permit to dig there. There is paving stone over that area of the plateau. The official position of the Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities is that there are no hidden chambers beneath the Sphinx that have not already been documented. The documented chambers are the ones Hawass opened in 1999, the Osiris Shaft, the small cavity in the rump, the passages that were sealed. What the radar found beneath the left paw does not appear in that documentation. It has not been explained. And the Giza Plateau has 4,500 years of practice at keeping its silence. 7 anomalies confirmed at Giza. Sealed pyramid shafts that end in chambers no one has been permitted to open. A void above the Grand Gallery that particle physics confirmed in 2017 and no one has physically entered. A 3,000-room underground labyrinth described by 4 ancient historians, confirmed by radar, with no excavation permit issued. Sphinx enclosure tunnels sealed with modern masonry. A 90-foot shaft ending in a flooded granite sarcophagus with no inscription and no date. A buried structure south of the Sphinx enclosure visible in LiDAR data that no one is digging. And beneath the left paw, the radar anomaly that 2 independent scientific teams confirmed, and one of them was turned away before they could confirm it a third time. The official record says these sites are sealed for protection. Monuments of this scale require controlled access. That is true. What it does not explain is why the scanning stopped. You do not seal a radar survey. You do not protect a monument by refusing to read what the radar already found. The data exists. The anomalies are documented. What is underneath them, that part has been kept quiet for 27 years. If you want to follow the things they stop before they're finished, subscribe to Ancient Echoes. We publish one discovery like this every week. And tell me in the comments, which of these 7 do you think holds something they already know about and have decided we shouldn't see?